Welcome to the Path of Steel. This is Randy. Today is March 11th, 2018. Today I'm going to be covering 4 steps. Now, once I get through these 12 steps, I'm going to start talking about something that I call it's my moral code. It's something that I call the 3 laws. Then I'm going to talk about a few other rules that I have for myself, as far as like personal rules. And after that, I don't really know what I'm going to do with this channel. I'm probably going to every now and then talk about addiction recovery, things like that. But that's really not what the point of this channel is. The point of this channel is self-improvement through rising to challenges. And so I'm going to be doing a lot of talking about that. But I really wanted to get this addiction recovery method that I used and some strategies out there that I used to help fix myself. I'll be talking about some actual hands-on strategies in some later on videos that are really, really useful. And if you're curious, if you're one of the very few people watching the videos right now, if you're curious about what those hands-on strategies are, please contact me anytime you want. Ask me any questions and I'll talk to you about anything you want to know about. But in the meantime, I'm going to go through these 12 steps that I used, that I created for myself. I'm going to go through all that stuff, and after that, I'm probably going to be moving in a direction away from addiction recovery. But that doesn't mean that that's not something that I won't talk about or don't want to talk about. It's just that it's not really the focus of my life right now. I've actually focused on that. I spent a lot of time working on that, and I've gotten through that, and now I want to move on. I'm only putting this out there for people that might be like me, that need that information in their life. The way I needed it, and I had to create it for myself. And so I thought I'd put it out there and let you guys have it. And that's important to me. And whether or not anybody ever watches these videos isn't really important to me at all. The fact that they are there for you. And if someone comes to me and I'm talking to them and they're looking for this information, I can have this set of videos that I can point them in that direction to help them out so that they can see how I did this and how it worked for me in my life. Anyway, onward to the meat and potatoes of the video. Today I'm going to talk about steps 4 through 7. And 4 through 7 for AA goes something along the lines of step number 4 being, and this is actually a good step. It's the one of the 12 steps from AA and from traditional 12-step programs that I agree with completely. And that is to do a searching and fearless moral inventory of yourself. Now, I think that's something that everybody should do. I think that's something that everybody should do frequently to determine where you are and where you stand with yourself. Are you living the best life? Are you being honest with yourself? Are you being honest with other people? Are you really living up to your own potential? It's a really good question to ask yourself, and I think that that's one of the places in the traditional 12-step program that they get right. And so mine is really not any different from that. My version of step number 4 is to do the same thing with more of a focus on learning what your strengths are. Step number 5 for the traditional 12-step program is to admit to yourself and to another person and to God the exact nature of your wrongs. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing to do. If you've wronged people, you should try to make amends. You should admit these things. The problem that I have with 12-step programs is that they're constantly doing, once you get to the end of your 12 steps, you're supposed to just start them again. And that in and of itself is such a bad thing, except that what they end up doing is constantly looking for things wrong with themselves so that they can admit them to God and to another person. And so when you go to these meetings, frequently I find myself, and I know I'm not alone in thinking this, that it is one of the most depressed groups of people I've ever met in my life. There's no wonder why for me, if all you're doing is looking for your flaws, constantly looking for what's wrong with yourself, and then admitting it to somebody and admitting it to God, And then step number 6 is to be ready to have God remove your shortcomings. I don't really know what that means. But step number 7 is to humbly ask God to remove your shortcomings. Now, I have a real problem with this because I don't see any empirical evidence in the world of God actually answering prayers. Now, sometimes people pray for things that they get, and sometimes they pray for things that they don't get. But if you're waiting around for a deity to solve your problems for you, you're going to be waiting a long time. And then if you somehow manage to solve your own problems, you then what? Give that credit to the deity because you asked him for it? Where do you get your credit? At what point in your life do you get to take credit for the things that you've accomplished in your life, for the hardships that you've overcome? And if you're a person that's struggled with addiction and you've overcome it, you deserve some kudos for that. And so, I personally, I don't see the point in this. I don't see how it's going to lead to any sort of good things in your life, really. You have to do those things for yourself. So my equivalent steps are these. Step number 4 is essentially the same as step number 4 from a 12-step program. It is to do an inventory of yourself. Not just a moral inventory, but an inventory of all of your strengths and weaknesses. And really with a focus on what your strengths are, figure out exactly what you're all about. Learn about yourself. Take a really good, long, hard look at yourself. Now, this is an important thing to do. As I said, I agree with step number 4 from the 12-step program. It's an excellent suggestion and a good rule to live by. Step number 5 for me is to categorize. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Know them. Know what you are all about, and really list them. Write them down. Figure out where it is that you are lacking in your life, and figure out where it is that you really shine, and know that. Know what they are. Many people don't even understand what they're good at and what they're not good at. They don't actually look at themselves. They just kind of float through life. You have to know exactly who you are in order to know where to go. And because if you're trying to accomplish something, it may not be something that you're good at. And so you're going to have to focus on learning things that you're not good at. Or if you're trying to get someplace that you are good at those things, but you've got weaknesses that are holding you back, you need to focus on how to strengthen those weaknesses or to eliminate them from holding you back. You have to know yourself to know where you're going to be going in life and how to get there. You have to know that first. So categorize all of those things, both your strengths and your weaknesses. And step number 6 is to forgive yourself for those weaknesses and your failures in your past. The past is just the past. You can't recreate it. Why beat yourself up about it? If you feel like you need to apologize to people for things that you've done, maybe you do need to apologize for those things, then do that. But then move on, whether they forgive you or not. And you may not be able to apologize to them. They might be gone or they might be out of your life. Forgive yourself for whatever things you've done. You cannot go back and change the past, so why bother even thinking about it? Just move forward. Keep moving forward. And forgive yourself. Learn how not to do those things in the future and move on. Step number 7 for me, for my 12-step program, is to commit to yourself. Make a promise to yourself to becoming the best possible self that you are. Commit to your ultimate potential. This is a very important step. It's probably the most important step out of my 12-step program. Is rather than asking God to remove your problems for you, you are going to commit to yourself, a promise to yourself that you are going to do that for yourself, and that you are going to make your strength stronger, and that you are going to make your weaknesses go away. You're going to strengthen every aspect of yourself and become the thing that is the best version of yourself. That's step number 7. Anyway, that's where I'm at up to now. I'm going to keep on going with the steps next week. The rest of the steps have a lot to do with, they're actually sort of suggestions as to how to organize your life to accomplish step number 7, which is becoming your best self. Anyway, I've gotten a few subscribers in the past week, and I want to thank you guys for showing up. And I don't have a lot of subscribers right now. I don't have a lot of views. I had one guy come and troll my channel, which I thought was funny. He didn't even bother to watch any of my videos. He came because I posted one on one of Jake Mace's videos. A lot of people really hate Jake Mace. Say what you want about the guy, he's helped me. I doubt that guy is going to watch this video, but man, you really need to let go of your anger. You're not serving your own life well at all. And that's my message to any trolls that watch this. If you are so angry that, or if you have so little going on in your life that you have this time to like go to people's YouTube channels and write nasty comments below, man, I feel really bad for you. I feel really, really bad for you. You are not doing step number 7. You are not living up to your ultimate potential. And if you'd like some help in doing that, you should watch this video series. And if you want to talk to me about it, I'll talk to you about it. I'll help you if I can. Even if you've said some nasty things to me, I really don't give a crap. I'm all about helping people, and if you've got that much anger inside of you, and if you've got that much need for attention that you will go to somebody else's YouTube channel and say nasty things to them just to get a response out of them, if that's what you are, if you're that internet troll, man, you need this. You need this more than anybody else. And I guess that's all I've got to say. I will see you next week.